Let's talk about lint, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and bad things that can be. Let's talk about lint. Let's talk about lint. Let's talk about lint. Let's talk about lint. Girl, cut that, cut that. Let's get moving. Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to any guest, any returning guests, and especially to my peoples, my Journey fam. What's up, family? Woo! Listen, I know y'all like,
girl, don't be rude. Like, where you been? Where have you been?
Because I've been MIA doing a million different things, family, trying to get that bag. But anyways, I'm here. I'm like, let me go feed my family because they probably hungry. Okay, I'm here. Today we're going to be talking about lint, honey. That is my kryptonite. It always has been. It's something that I constantly combat. It's things I get questions about, especially from newbies. So I was like, let me get on here because it's long overdue and talk about this lint situation, honey, because it is important. So let's get on into it. Okay, so we're going to be talking about you know what lint is, but just in case somebody don't know, honey, like we'll talk about what lint is, how you get it, why you get it, the things that you can do to combat it and that I do to combat it. And then the ultimate, like, if nothing else works, what do we do? I only have one solution for that, but we're going to at least talk about it and then you do with it what you will. All right. So, of course, everybody knows what lint is, honey. It's everywhere. It's literally everywhere. All right. So, how do we get lint? Y'all, from several different things. It's wintertime in my area anyway, so not so much in the wintertime for the outside. But when it's spring outside, oh, honey, it is stuff flying around everywhere. We're in Texas, so we have these little fuzzy cotton tree flower things that dispenses this little soft cotton stuff into the air. It is a million different things flowing through the air down here in Texas because we have a lot of trees and things of that sort. So if you are in Texas or anywhere where there's a lot of trees, outside is where you can get a lot of things and a lot of lint in your hair just from things floating around. So that's one way. The number one way that I started getting lint in my hair, guys, was my clothing. Unfortunately, you're not gonna want to hear this, y'all. You're not gonna want to hear it, but it's the clothing, the bedding, all of that. We'll get into that in just a minute. Okay. Disclaimer, I do have my notes below, so you will see me glance down every now and then, but let's go ahead and get into it. So first things first is, like, what is lint? How do we get lint? Everybody should kind of know what lint is, but maybe you don't get it. So maybe you don't know. It is like sometimes you can look at your hair and see these little white pieces stuck in your hair. Sometimes they're actually literally like bound and woven into your hair. Sometimes it's just kind of on the outside. Sometimes it's kind of on the ends. It's just little fuzz, little white particles, strings, like cotton, things like that. So how do we get it? Most of the time, guys, it's coming from our clothing. That's where you're getting it most of the time. So your jackets, your sweaters, your hats, blankets, shirts, towels, things of that sort. When you're washing your hair, if you're using towels on your hair instead of using the microfiber towels or using a t-shirt. I don't really know about the t-shirt method. I didn't really like it. It still just got water everywhere, but they say to use that instead of using towels because regular towels are going to put colored strings and fuzz in your hair. So all of those things are how you get it. You can even get it from being outside. I know here in Texas where we are, we have a lot of trees and flowers, and they dispense this little soft, fluffy, floating like a million pieces fuzz all in the air. And I love to go walking, and so it's constantly floating around. And if you don't protect your hair when you go out, then it's going to get in your hair. So dust, even things like changing out your lint tray when you go to change out your dryer. You don't think about it, but think about when you pull that lint off of that thing, how much of that stuff is floating around in the air. Just think about it. So you get it from so many different things. But mainly what I started getting it from was my clothing when I was first starting out, and I had no clue at all that that even mattered or meant anything. Honey, I was just happy to have some hang time, honey. That's it. But I had no clue that I was like ruining the undercarriage of my locks for a very long time. So I even think you can get lint in your hair from sleeping on your sheets without having your hair protected. So if you're like me and pull your sheets all the way up to your neck and your hair is down and you've got these white sheets, white linen sheets or white whatever kind of sheets, and they're pulled up on your hair constantly and you're rubbing your hair back and forth on your pillows, it can come from that as well. So your blankets, your sheets, your clothing from outside, even things around like when you're dusting your house or pulling out the lint out of your lint tray, like lint can come from anywhere, guys. But for the most part, I got most of mine from my clothing, my jackets, my sweaters, all of those things. Because I mean, when it's cold, you want to wear something fuzzy. And at the time of me getting my locks, it was cold. So that is where I got most of my lint from. So we definitely want to be careful with that. And I'll talk about the ways that I have learned to combat it in just a moment. Just real quick, a quick 2.5 on why lint gets stuck in the hair, gets trapped in the hair. I have always heard and been told, even by locticians, that some people just have like a sticky type of hair type where things naturally want to stick to it, and some people don't. I do happen to have sticky hair over here, sticky and like a fly trap or something. It is a problem. So maybe you have that kind of hair too, and maybe you don't. I mean, I know some people who never hardly have that problem, or it sits on top and never gets really embedded inside. And so that is what I've heard can be some of the reasons why some people get more lint than others. And then you just have the fact of like us not properly protecting our hair the way we should. So then therefore things get stuck in it. And then if you're not paying attention to it and getting it out and it gets locked in there, now we have a problem. Okay, guys, let's talk about how we can combat it, how I combat it. Well, first of all, let's start with the bed because, you know, sleeping and comfy. If you're where I'm from, in Texas, it's cold. So the first thing you want to do is grab a nice, cozy blanket and get warm. But what color is the blanket? What type of blanket is it? What is your hair doing while you cozied up in this blanket? If it's a white or colored, Sherpa, fuzzy, anything kind of blanket, it's a no-no. These beautiful, nice, cozy, fuzzy, furry, beautiful blankets, they're a no-no around and on your hair. The only time you need to be having something like this on or around your hair is if you have a bonnet on or a scarf on and your hair is pulled up. Otherwise, these are no-no. Now, let's say if you did want to, you would need to have a black one or a brown one, something that if it got in your hair, it would at least match and nobody would be able to see it, because that white shows up like it is magnified, okay? So these whites, this is decor, honey. We don't put this near or on our hair. I might have a whole heart attack if I rolled over, on it. So you want to be careful with these kind of things, or the Sherpas or anything like that. So you want to watch the color of blankets you use, and you want to watch like the texture of blankets. The flatter blankets don't really do that as much because they don't shed as much. The nap on them are much shorter and they don't shed, but these shed quite a bit. I mean, I could do like this and it's going to start flying around, right? And so be careful with these. And if you do, remember to wear a bonnet. Same thing when we're going to bed, making sure that our hair is pulled up, and you wear a bonnet unless you're sleeping on silk sheets and a silk pillowcase or satin. You don't have to have silk, honey. Everybody ain't that fancy, but satin or silk pillowcases or sheets are a must. Now, I don't like to sleep on you see that flying around? I'm telling you, I don't like to sleep on silk or satin sheets because I sweat in my sleep really, really bad. So honey, that would be a hot mess. But I do have pillowcases, and I have them on both sides. So in case I roll, I'm still on that satin pillowcase. I do have a bonnet. I utilize my bonnet sometimes, but in the least, if I don't utilize my bonnet, I'm still like, okay, I'm good, because my hair is usually pulled up and I'm on a silk or satin pillowcase. So make sure you grab those. I do have those in my storefront. I will have bonnets in my storefront. The link will be in the bio as well as in the description. So of the ones that I have purchased. So, But you want to protect your hair with your bonnets. Going outside, now, I ain't telling y'all to go out in the park with the bonnets on now, because I don't do that. If you do that, honey, don't come for me in the comments. Do what you do. But I particularly do not wear bonnets out in public. But if I'm going and doing yard work or anything like that, then you might want to use a bonnet to protect your hair, because if you're raking or mowing or planting flowers, dust and stuff is flying around and getting in your hair, and it will get trapped. So protect your hair when you're going out to exercise or do anything in the yard. You want to stay away from these white fuzzy things unless you have your hair in a bonnet, and protect your hair at night by using silk pillowcases, silk sheets if you're a person that keeps them up or over your head, as well as bonnets. Did I say bonnets? So protect your hair at all costs, guys. That is the name of the game. If you do want to lay on a regular pillowcase, because sometimes I just want to feel the cotton on my face. I don't want to feel my face sliding across them pillowcases. I just want to be still somewhere, okay? And so I will put my bonnet on because I want to lay on a regular pillowcase, and that's okay because my hair is tucked away and it's protected. Nothing's going to get in it, okay? So in my blankets, I tend to shy away from white. I tend to buy black or brown. And again, if you bought this and you wanted to use it, what do we need to do? We need to put our bonnet on. Okay, so there's that part of what to do. If you're wearing jackets, make sure that when you buy those jackets, this is the thing I did. I bought a jacket with that fuzzy neckline. It was all underneath my hair. I mean, all the way down. It was so bad. So, and I didn't know because nobody told me. Be careful with your jackets. Be careful with your sweaters. All of those things, guys. The lady that I spoke to on Instagram who has locks like way down her back, I think she's 10, 12 plus years. I asked her, like, what is your secret to keeping your hair so clean? Because I mean, her hair looks immaculate. And she says, honey, I stay in my head. I stay picking in my head. It annoys some people to death, guys. And I have no idea why, because it's your head. But I'm always combing through my locks with my hands, trying to find anything that's up in there. Let me tell you, get you a hair picker, honey. Get you a hair picker. You like, Tiffany, what is a hair picker? Well, it's somebody that's going to be picking through your head constantly, making sure that you don't have odd things in your hair. My daughter is my hair picker. I'll be somewhere and she'll be like, hold on, mom. She'll get it. Hold on, mom. And she'll get it. I'm always checking my ends of my hair, making sure I don't see any white fuzz, because if I do, I'm going to get the tweezers and I'm going to get it out because I don't want it getting locked in my hair any longer. Okay, so be checking your hair. Don't worry about people talking about keep your hands out your head, all this and that. Yes, we need to let our babies breathe and let them do their thing, but also we don't want lint getting trapped in there. So you need to be diligent in making sure you're kind of checking your hair as you're moisturizing and wetting it, because we don't want it to get matted in there. Yeah. If you have traditional locks, then there is such a thing as brushing your locks. I do not recommend that for people with smaller locks. That, to me, will only fuzz out our locks. I don't think that we can do that like traditional locks can. But if you have traditional locks, then like doing a gentle board brush, soft board brush, brushing out will keep your locks clean. For us, you need to either, just pick it out or get some little tweezers and carefully remove the lint that's on the outside. If you do it trying to get some lint on the inside, let me tell you, it's very satisfying, guys, but you're going to pick your lock apart. Be very careful with those tweezers, because I have literally done it till I had a lock sitting in my hand. So very carefully pick out if you can't get it with your fingernails and it's too little, or sometimes if it's stuck on the very end, I will have a hard time getting it. So you want to get some tweezers and gently pull it out the end of your hair till it's not there, making sure you're not messing with the integrity of your lock or piercing your lock. So be very, very careful with them, but you have to do it sometimes on the ends, because sometimes it's stuck in there before you know it, but it's just loose enough for you to get out, but not with your fingers. So just be very careful. Be very meticulous about it, but get it out when you see it. So I'm telling you, if you've been using these Sherpa blankets and these fuzzy blankets and you're having lint problems, this is probably where it's coming from. Our sweaters, I make sure that I don't have like a nap on my sweater if I'm going to have my hair down, because I don't want my hair grabbing it. So that is my quick 2.5 on that. Now, how do we ultimately fix the lint problem if we can't get it out? Guys, I have tried ACV rinses. They do not work for me. What they did for me was expose the lint even more, because I guess it was like stripping the dirt and all the stuff off and around it, but it did not take the lint out. It did not loosen it up for me. It didn't do any of that for me. All it did was make it more prominent. So at the end of the day, if you cannot get the lint out and you've already got it in there, these are the ways you can prevent from getting it any further, or if you're new, to keep from getting it at all. If you have it and you cannot get it out, we've got to dye it. That's what I do. I just go ahead and dye it black, dye it dark brown, whatever, and cover up that part so I don't have to be self-conscious about that any longer. And then from there, be very careful going forward, doing all the things we talked about today so that you don't get it in there ever again. Okay, so be very careful. When you go to the store and you're like, oh, that's so cute. Like, oh, dang, I can't use that. And if you do, let's say you find a beautiful dress that's got some feathers or a beautiful sweater, get your hair up off of your neck. Your hair needs to be up here, not down here on your shoulders. Get your hair up off of there. And if you are like here, you good, because it's not going to touch it anyway if you're just right here. But if you are hanging anywhere on your clothing, get your hair up off your shoulders if you're going to wear something like that. And also, little trick, 2.5 trick, I will put on my bonnet before I put it over my head to put on my body, because you think, okay, I'm gonna pull my hair up. But as you pull it down over your head, what are you doing? You're touching your hair with that same item. So I will often put on a shower cap or my bonnet, put my shirt on first, and then take it off once my sweater is on, and my hair should already be up in a ponytail already. So that's a way to keep it from getting in there even while you're putting it on and taking it off. Cover it up. So at least you don't have to not wear your items, but I am telling you, keep your hair up off of your items. And I still try my best, if I like something, to buy it in the darker colors. So at least it won't be seen as much if it happens to get in there. So okay, guys, I hope that this has helped you in some capacity. I have a lot of conversation on Instagram and different capacities with people about lint and how I've struggled with it and what I did. And again, just to be clear, ultimately, I ended up dyeing it because I had tried the ACV rinses. Honey, I was trying the tweezers and picking my locks literally apart, and then nobody could put it back on. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to dye it and start over. And so I did, and now I'm just very, very, very careful about everything that I use, I sleep on, I wear, all of that. When I go wash my hair, I use microfiber towels in black only, or I have one that's kind of like a bluish color, but the inside doesn't even have the microfiber. It's like a flat texture that doesn't have any nap to it whatsoever, which is totally defeats the point, right? But it works. So, but from now on, I'm actually trying to go more towards just only black microfiber towels, period, point blank. So I will have those listed in my Amazon storefront, so go check out the lock section there. I have all the things that I have bought. Everything that I've mentioned today will also be in there that I've purchased, and I hope that this helps you. I hope for my newbies that you can catch this video before you get started so you don't struggle with what I did, because my whole first 2 years was just frustration and embarrassment because all the undercarriage of my hair was just speckled with white because nobody told me. So I'm hoping to save some of your locks to not go through that and to kind of help you, and that you can pass along as well. So thank you for joining me today. I hope that you come back. I hope that my Journey fam, we good? We good? Okay, we good, because I paid my debt. We good. So I hope that you guys are doing well. I hope the new year is treating you well, you and your locks, and that your lock babies are thriving and growing and looking beautiful, because y'all are beautiful. And listen, us lock honeys, baby, we in, okay? Period. So I will see you guys in the next video. Be safe, be warm if you're in Texas. I will see you soon. And until next time, keep on growing them locks, baby. Bye.